Welcome back everybody, and welcome if this is your first time here at my channel. The tone for today's video will be a little bit more serious than previous videos, but I've got a lot to catch you up on. So recently I got my very first cease and desist regarding my coverage of a local EMS director's, let's call it, leadership decisions. We are going to review a little bit, but to get caught up and current on everything that I have covered, please go watch my previous two videos that I will have linked here and in the description. The cease and desist states that I'm writing to demand that you fully and fairly retract each and every statement made by you regarding my client in as public and prominent place as was the case for each of the following, and then there's some screenshots of 4 posts that I made. At the very end, it states, my client insists that you publish each such statement, knowing the same was false or with reckless regard of whether it was false or not. And to that I say, that is 100% incorrect. This is a public safety issue, not defamation. It is well within my First Amendment right to criticize local government entities. We're going to recap everything here in just a minute, but first I do want to say that throughout this ordeal, since I have been covering this, whether it be on a Facebook post or in my other 2 videos, I have asked multiple times for a response. I have asked multiple times to please correct me if I am stating something that is incorrect. And I said this on my Facebook post, and I'm going to say it again. I sincerely hope that there is a simple explanation to all of these allegations and there's no merit to it, and I look stupid and then easily proven wrong, and then I would owe a gigantic apology to Tom Dixon, the OHSP employees, city council, and the mayor, which I will happily give when these questions are answered. Why are they not being transparent? Because they know that these questions are being asked, yet it's been very quiet recently. Again, I know there was already a disclaimer, but these are things that have been alleged in public and or alleged to me in private, but these people cannot speak publicly, so that is why most of my sources have to remain anonymous, but I can back up everything that I am alleging. And another thing, I just want to make one more point real quick. Since day one that I have started speaking on this, I have been super transparent. I have given multiple opportunities for people to correct me if I have said something wrong. I have said that multiple times over and over again. This is what I was told. This is what is alleged. So this is the information. If it's wrong, please let me know. If this is not true, please let me know. I have encouraged current employees, past employees. I have begged for people to talk about some of their good experiences with that organization and that leadership, and I haven't got any of those. So all I can report on and talk about is what has come to me, and again, these are not presented as concrete facts. All of this information has been alleged to me by sources that I trust. Not once has anyone reached out to offer any kind of counter to any of the allegations that have been brought forward, despite me giving multiple opportunities to do so that I could cover this story with a more well-rounded approach. That has just not been possible because I have gotten silence from that side until I got this in the mail. So back in March, an anonymous email was sent to the Oxford City Council, the Chief of Police, I believe, and the City of Oxford Fire Chief. The email was from an anonymous account, and it was a pretty lengthy email laying out some allegations against the OHSP director, Tom Dixon. OHSP is Oxford Health Systems Paramedics, the ambulance service in the city of Oxford, Alabama. To see what all was in that letter, please go back to my first video, but there were allegations in there that the director referred to female employees or certain female employees as whores, talking about the sex lives of these employees inappropriately, as well as using the R-word slur referencing the mayor's son. All characteristics very unbecoming of someone that is supposed to be the leadership of a healthcare authority and EMS service. Also in that letter were some allegations about employees being instructed to dump patients off across the state line, and there were also allegations of a personal vendetta by the EMS director against the fire department and local helicopter services. And so that has been an ongoing discussion, and we will get to all of that here in just a bit. After this email was sent to the city council, Tom himself wrote an email in response and sent it to all of the employees and encouraged all the employees that if they had any grievances to please feel free to air them out, let the council know, and it was a safe space. There would be no retaliation. So one of the employees, Gracie Wright, took Tom up on that offer and composed her own email with her own issues, corroborating a lot of the allegations in the original anonymous email. In response, after it was stated there would be no retaliation, she was in fact retaliated against when her email was leaked to all of her co-workers, who then proceeded to basically gang up on her and force her to quit her job, essentially creating a hostile work environment. So did she get fired? No, but it was a hostile work environment and she felt she had no other option, that she had to leave. I did not, however, expose the text messages that she received from co-workers, but I have seen them and yeah, they're not good. So someone involved in all of this leaked the original anonymous email to me because I know a lot of the people involved. I had a career as a paramedic for over 10 years, and now being that I create content here on YouTube, I guess they thought that I could be of some assistance because all of the people involved, the employees, the previous employees, the fire department, everybody who needs a job basically feels threatened into silence and unable to speak on this. So I went to my social media page and just put out a post saying that I had this letter in my hands. It has some serious allegations, some of which are, and I wrote out a couple of them, and I said, look, I don't have a dog in this fight. If you want to share your story, if you want me to cover this, if you want me to keep looking into this, please reach out to me and let me know. And well, the response was a bit like this. So I started talking and receiving a lot of information from several people involved and composed my own email that I sent to the Oxford City Council. But basically, I stated who I was, my ties to the community, why I am interested in this, and I laid out some of the points that I wanted to talk about. I also wanted to give them a chance to respond to some of these allegations so that if my information was not correct, if there was a misunderstanding somewhere, that could have stopped right there. All they had to do was reply to that email, respond to my points, and explain where the misunderstanding is, and I would have covered their side as well. So all of this was really unnecessary and could have been put to bed at that time. However, as we all know, that is not what happened. Instead, what happened is a few weeks later, they released this joint statement, which I covered in my second video, that answered none of the allegations. And basically, it was just a really long statement explaining what everybody's job description is. Really weird. To see all of that, see this video right here. And as far as all the helicopter drama, I don't know what's going on with all of that right now. I have heard rumblings that it fell through. I have heard rumblings that Tom is now ignoring phone calls from Air Methods. Now, I don't know if that is 100% true. That is just coming from people that are in this circle. I cannot verify that. And for the record, when I have been talking about allegations or where information is coming from, I've been very careful to state that some of this I cannot verify. Please correct me if something is wrong. Nobody has offered a correction on any of this. So leads me to believe there's a lot of truth here and that this is just a threat and a scare tactic. Ultimately, I can back up where my information has come from. And also, going back to Gracie's situation where she composed her own email and then faced the wrath of coworkers, just on a personal level, my question to her coworkers are, do you not feel bad about any of this? Like, I guess that what has bothered me the most about this situation is I understand protecting your job, protecting your income. I 100% understand that. I don't fault you for that. However, at the end of the day, there's two options. Either you know the truth, you know that the things people are alleging to be true, but you don't care, or you believe that they're all lying. I'm curious, which is it? So a lot of what I have focused on is the fact that the Oxford Fire Department had all of their equipment taken away from them. They went from an ALS service to a BLS service, unable to provide medical care at the level at which they were equipped and trained to do. The reason that I have spent so much time on that is because it's a public safety issue. And I have another example. On April 30th of this year, an unconscious, unresponsive call came out on Fish Hatchery Road. Oxford Fire Department was not dispatched. It took OHSP approximately 13 minutes to arrive on scene, even though Oxford Fire Department's medics could have been there in less than 5 minutes. That's not defamation. That happened, and that is a public safety issue that tax-paying citizens in Oxford have every right to know about. They need to know that the fire department that have historically provided care for them are no longer able to do that in the same capacity, even though their tax dollars are going to fund the Oxford Fire Department. Now, I don't know the outcome of the call that day on Fish Hatchery Road. I don't know if the delayed response made any difference whatsoever. However, it is important to note that the fire department could have been there in less than 5 minutes and weren't even dispatched because of this power trip. Again, I'm asking, this is not me defaming anyone. This is someone with a history as a paramedic that knows how EMS works, asking, what is the reason? Why was the fire department stripped of their equipment and their ALS status? What was the reason? It's the same question I've been asking for months. I have not gotten an answer to. Just that. Also, later on that day, on April 30th, there was a medical emergency when someone drove to the station, to the fire department, as people do, looking for medical attention. And what did the fire department do? They called an ambulance because they can no longer give the level of care they once could, again, because of this power struggle. I don't know what to call it because I can't get any answers to any of this. So it leads me to feel like this is petty, childish drama. It appears to me like someone that just does not like to be questioned that wants total control. I don't know. I'm speculating. I, again, have given every opportunity for a response, but I was brushed off as just a crazy girl. Yes, I have seen the text messages, but the city council and everybody else thought that this would just go away because I'm just a crazy girl, and here we are. For the record, after everything that I have been through in the last 2.5 years with my accident where I was internally decapitated, survived a brain herniation, lost my job, had to claw my way back to where I'm at today, I don't scare easily. And at the end of the day, I don't care if someone refers to me as a crazy girl or if someone doesn't like me. Ultimately, I care about my family, my relationship with my husband, and I care about going to bed every night knowing that I did what I thought was the right thing to do with the best of intentions. Because there's a lot of people that have been silenced and feel unheard, and man, have I been in that position before, and it's not fun. The city of Oxford's citizens deserve to know what's going on with their local emergency services, and that is what I have done. As far as the actual cease and desist itself, it's funny the way that it came about, because one of my Facebook posts that started to get some traction, there was an individual that came to my Facebook page and is the only individual that I've had to block, because this person, not knowing me, not knowing the situation, just being an outsider, instead of asking questions or trying to learn a bit more, came to my page and left threatening comments, and this person did not seem like a very rational person. She just wanted to make a bunch of threats, so I just blocked her. She didn't like that, took a screenshot, shared it on her post, aired me out to what she told me she had, I don't remember, 15,000 or 50,000 followers or whatever, but threatened to air me out and talked about litigation and whatnot. Well, on that post, a local lawyer commented on. His comment was later removed, but that same lawyer that reached out on that post saying that he would be happy to help with the defamation suit on a situation that he knew nothing about, that's the same lawyer that sent that. I found that interesting. Something else that I would like to know is, where in all of this does anyone care about the truth? Because ultimately, that's all any of this has been about. To be honest, what I wanted to happen when I did that first video is I wanted to get enough attention to it that the city council would be forced to look into this, because I'm sure they did to an extent, but I really don't think, it doesn't seem like it was very in-depth, and I can only assume that because there has been no transparency. I can only talk about the information that I have been provided, and it's been silence on their end except for that joint statement that didn't answer anything at all. It tried to tie a pretty little ribbon around a turd, and it's just not going to fly because there's too many unanswered questions. There's too many issues. There's too many people that have been wronged. And it's not about revenge for those people. It's not about justice, but it is about a little bit of accountability. I think that's the question that just keeps coming up for me is, when do people start caring about the truth? Versus he said, she said. Like, it's not about that. It's just about some accountability. And something that I have always said is that, you know, as someone that has made so many mistakes in life and done so many things that I am not proud of, what I have learned is that the bad things or the mistakes that people make don't necessarily have to define them for the rest of their life. But I think what you do after that, what you do after a major mistake or something that you shouldn't have done, what matters is what you do after that. that. And I think there is a space for that in this situation. But in order to get there, there has to be some accountability and there has to be a change in action. And then maybe fences can be mended. And I mean, maybe I'm just wishful thinking and it's my, the cliche things that I say all the time, because honestly, again, after everything we've been through the past 2.5 years, my priorities are much different. And I guess just maybe I'm too idealistic. I don't know. I want there to be some harmony, some resolution, some accountability. That's it. The people that have truly been wronged, I think just even an acknowledgement, I think, would go such a long way, because there's nothing worse than knowing that you were mistreated or wronged in some way. And I'm not saying just by this, I'm saying in any situation ever. To know that you have been wronged and hurt and things done or said that have just been so hurtful, to just not have the validation just eats at you so much. And I think just acknowledging some of that would go so far. I have said, and I will say again, that I think that Tom Dixon could potentially be really great in that position, but I think that personal vendettas have gotten in the way of that. I have also pointed out some of the good things that I have seen, which the social media presence, they were doing a good job with that, even though I'm now blocked, which, by the way, I don't think you can do that as a public safety service, blocking people from your social media page like that. That is, and it's not, I don't care. Block me, whatever, I don't care. But I'm not the only person that has been blocked. And when you live in the city limits or you have family there, and that is a way of getting public safety information out to residents, you cannot block those people. Just throwing that out there. I can also tell you that there are other entities investigating all of this. There are other media outlets investigating all of this. There have been phone calls and discussions with people in Montgomery. This is not just a Christie, fire that you got to put out. This is something that is being looked into because it's worth being looked into, because this is not normal behavior. It is not normal for a local fire department to be stripped of all these services and for there to be this beef between EMS and fire department. Everywhere else in the United States, they work in synchrony. They work alongside each other in a constructive way. However, in this situation, it seems that personal vendettas are getting in the way of that, and it's an issue that deserves investigating, and that's exactly what's happening. As for me, this is the last I plan to be involved in this, because look, at the end of the day, I wanted to force enough attention to this that it was investigated properly. And now that I know that other people are involved, that this is not just going to disappear, I'm good. I just want the truth. I want accountability, and I want to go to bed tonight knowing that I did the best I could with the voice that I have for a lot of people that are good people that do not deserve to be treated the way that they have been treated. So I guess the only thing I have left to say is that instead of allegations being addressed or questions being answered, the fact that this threatening cease and desist was sent instead is very telling. It truly speaks volumes. However, I will not be removing anything that I have posted. I wish you all the best of luck. I hope all of this sees some kind of resolution at some point, and I will see you all very soon.